What in the world are we doing here on a Wednesday? Well, there's just been too much going on in Tempe this past weekend, so good thing we are. Zahid Valencia, revenge is sweet, and even sweeter when it's for a national championship. Picture this, you're a young child at your first game and you really want an autograph from your favorite player, but you just weren't able to get it. But now the Arizona Rattlers are doing their part to ensure this doesn't happen. They've created a no one leaves without a signature rule. Our Chris Cadeau explains. That doesn't paint the real picture because the company has been elite. The last three matches for Arizona State, number 1 ranked Cal, number 3 USC, and number 4 UCLA. The loss to the Bruins marked the Sun Devils' first road loss of the season. We'll head from one Bay Area team to the other. The Giants have had their struggles in the bullpen the last few years, but added a big piece this offseason. Chancellor Johnson introduces us to him and a specific group in the Giants' pen. It was a high of 49 degrees Wednesday in Iowa City. Naturally, you come out west this time of year for vacation to get away from the cold or to play softball. It didn't go quite as well as ASU fell 10-3 to UNLV. And I woke up in WCSN baseball reporter Nick Batters. Nick, we can't not start without talking about Gage Canning. Kevin Towers, the former Diamondbacks GM, died this morning at age 56. Towers was diagnosed with a rare form of thyroid cancer back in December of 2016. You mentioned it, brand new program, brand new team. Who's one person in particular who has really stepped up and maybe taken on that leadership role? The Yankees acquired an athlete you might better recognize in pads, Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. He was previously in the Rangers system, but was traded to the Yanks earlier this month. And Wilson said this is not just some stunt. He takes baseball very seriously and is living out a childhood dream playing for the Yankees. And not just because Phil Mickelson like a normal year. This April, the list includes John Rahm, Paul Casey, who were some favorites as sleeper picks to win at Augusta National. Get this, the Sun Devils have the most alumni in the field of any college. More than typical powerhouse golf schools like Georgia and Texas make it 5 representatives in total for ASU. That we do, and no bigger news than a little basketball game that happened last night. If you had a pulse and you live in Arizona, chances are you may have been aware. We're both fans of the Olympics. Right now, it's the Winter Olympics going on. So if ASU had to add one Winter Olympic sport, what would you choose? And with that, the end of what can only be described as a roller coaster of a season. Barry Bonds who? Let's hit number 2. We go to Barrington Stadium. It's none other than G. Juarez, who throws a no-no against BYU, the 30th no-hitter in ASU softball history. It's Godley's signature curveball that drops right out of the sky. Nasty. Godley went 7 strong last night, allowing just 4 hits to go along with his 9 punch-outs in the D-backs' 2-1 win over the Giants. Godley now has just a .64 ERA through his first 2 starts. Now, second inning, Brandon Belt joins the party. This is his 18th homer of the season. Fans watching on, that big beard. Looked like Jerry Garcia a little bit. Now here's when we know things are really going right for the Giants. Ty Block, this is the starting pitcher. He goes deep as well. He's the first Giant this season to hit a 3-run homer at AT&T Park. But Melvin says Devin imagined being in this position years ago. He was just a young child doing anything he could to get his hands on a basketball. Partnering with Oakley, the PGA Tour gave out 2,000 of these cardboard virtual reality headsets. So all you have to do is put in your phone, and just like that, you can experience the 16th hole. Part of the initiative is to create what's called a circular economy, which means treating things like wrappers, cups, or even grass, not as a waste, but as a resource. On Saturday, the Sun Devil seniors will walk their way from the Tillman Tunnel right here onto Frank Cush Field for the final time in a game they say means more than most. Manager Tori Lavello says that he's just in a bit of an adjustment period right now, trying to get used to this completely new environment here in the United States. Tropicana Field in Florida, 22nd with less than 1 long ball per contest, in large part due to the thick air, which isn't going to be an issue for Sousa here in Arizona. A connection of son and father through a game that links them to their core. Devin Booker, the leading scorer on the Phoenix Suns, and Melvin Booker, a retired professional basketball player who spent the last 10 years of his career in Europe.
He understood while I was away a lot because I was in Europe playing ball, but, he loved to tell his friends, my dad is overseas playing ball, so it was a nice thing. I missed out on a lot in his life, but, it was sacrifices that I made to, be able to take care of him and give him the life that he needed.
Devin grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and lived with his mother, Veronica Gutierrez. His parents were separated, but he would still spend summers with Melvin in Mississippi. Then his freshman year of high school, he made the tough decision to move from Michigan to Mississippi to live with his father and pursue his future in basketball.
Actually, I felt like a college coach because I had to recruit him and his mom to make the decision because at first they was against it, and I understand, mom didn't want to send her son away from her for the next 3 years, but once I convinced him that's what the step that he needs to do to fulfill his dream, he was all for it.
The transition was seamless on the court. Devin joined the varsity team at Moss Point High School and thrived, becoming the state player of the year his junior season, and followed that up as a McDonald's All-American his senior year. The move Booker made to live and train with his father was life-changing, and for Devin, the necessary change.
Just putting that extra time in. I learned when I moved with my dad, spending extra time in the gym, hour before practice, hour after practice, that I really didn't understand. I was just a really talented kid, so, putting in that extra work and that grind, I feel like got me to the situation I am today.
Up ahead to Booker. Booker turns, fires.
The 21-year-old has put himself in elite company in his first 3 years in the NBA. In early March, he became the third quickest player to reach 4,000 points in NBA history, a mark that puts him in a special category, only behind LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
I think he's proven people wrong in a lot of cases already, and I don't think it's fair to put a restriction on him as to what his ceiling might be. I think he's got a chance to be a very special player in this league.
But Melvin says Devin imagined being in this position years ago. He was just a young child doing anything he could to get his hands on a basketball.
Like, when I see him on the court, I see the little kid that used to dribble the ball around the house and say, Dad, I'm going to play in the NBA and I want to be in the NBA.
I just, taking my craft seriously, spending that time in the summertime, working on my game, studying my game, and yeah, just eat, like I said, eat, sleep, breathe basketball. That's all I do.
Dedication and work ethic, all stemming from his long days training with his dad in Mississippi. The two have remained close, and when Devin was drafted in 2015, after his freshman year at Kentucky, Melvin moved with his son to Phoenix to help with the transition to the next phase of Devin's life.
Kid believes it, he's confident, he works hard, and you can do whatever you want if you believe in it. And I think Devin has the confidence to be one of the best players to ever play this game.
In Phoenix, Drew Andre, Cronkite Sports Report. Kamani Lawrence and Remy Martin are getting ready to double team Derek Thornton. Inbounds pass to Jonah Matthews, gives it right back to Thornton. Thornton rides down the court, Remy Martin right on him. Metu sets the screen. Thornton picks up his dribble, back to Metu. Far wing pass, a three from Jonah Matthews again, answers with a tray.
Deja vu for the kid from Santa Monica, California.
Halfway through the second half, a foul as Remy Martin drives to the basket. It's going to be on the ground. And the sixth team foul for USC. ASU will check it out on the sideline as Nick Rakocevic checks back in for USC. Benny Boatwright will take a seat. Remy Martin to check it in for the Sun Devils. We're just 5-6 in the Pac-12. USC 8-3 overall. Martin on the wing, gives it off to Evans. Evans up top, crosses through the legs to the hoop, little floater, but a foul before the shot. No, rather, they'll call it a shooting foul, and he'll get to the free throw line for two.
It's also the 17th foul on USC, so bonus basketball again for Arizona State. Free throws the rest of the way. That will be key, Drew. With 9:47 to go in this second half, Arizona State has a chance to make up for all those missed free throws that they had in the first half and early here in this second half, too.
Jordan McLaughlin checks in for USC. Evans, first free throw, knocks it down, earns a second.
And he's been the only consistent free throw shooter for Arizona State. 3 of 3 at the line. Everybody else has missed at least one free throw.
11 points for the senior. It's the second as well. 5-point lead for the Trojans. McLaughlin running the point, guarded strongly by Shannon Evans. Metu sets a left pick on him, doesn't use it. That's McLaughlin in the corner. McLaughlin picks up his dribble, down low. Rakocevic gets fouled, and he'll get to the free throw line after the right-handed layup doesn't fall.
And again, Arizona State's 2-3 zone just not enough as USC continuing to get pressure in the lane and get a guy like Rakocevic free throw attempts.
Rakocevic, a game high 17 points this evening. To make it 18, he does. Hits the first free throw and extends the lead for USC. Rakocevic, the 6'11" sophomore from Chicago. Saturday, 14 points and 10 rebounds against UCLA. Having another heck of a game tonight against ASU. He drops the second free throw as well. 63-56 the score. 9 minutes and 25 seconds to play. Evans to the rack. A little hesitation in the air, somehow still gets it off, but rattles out and then hit out of bounds by Chimezie Metu. It'll stay with the Sun Devils. Remy Martin will check it out under the ASU basket. USC remains in the 2-3 zone. Pass off to Evans, corner tray, knocks it down.
And here we go, Drew. It's Shannon Evans time here at the bank, as they call it here in Tempe.
Shannon Evans is feeling it. He slaps the floor as he plays defense. McLaughlin on the wing. Metu up top, guarded by Romello White. Kickoff. Thornton dishes it off to Rakocevic. Taken away by Remy Martin in transition, running with friends. Hands it off the Holder, who has the easy layup. Rakocevic too late to the bucket. A 2-point game.
And there he goes again. Remy Martin doing his thing, making plays, whether it's at the basket or giving the ball off to a teammate.
The bank is rocking. Thornton to Metu. Metu up top. Romello White playing strong defense. Hands it off to Jordan Usher, guarded by Holder. Little push off. Floater, highly contested, and a whistle.
It's so loud in here, Drew, I didn't even hear that whistle. Players just stopped playing, and I thought that there was something wrong with everybody.
So there'll be free throws, a shooting foul. Holder looked pretty straight up as we see the replay, but a foul nonetheless. It's Jordan Usher, the 6'7" freshman, to the free throw line. He'll have a pair. Curtain distraction going to work. Couple bald eagles in the curtain distraction. First free throw, Usher nets it. 3-point game, USC on top. Very even second half. ASU scored 28, USC 27. Usher, 3 points this evening, looking to make it 4 with second free throw. Sets, bends, fires, knocks it down. And a substitution for the shooter. Usher will take a seat as the starter Elijah Stewart comes back in. The boos continue at Wells Fargo Arena. Not happy at all with the referees. Remy Martin runs the point, calls out the offense. Long arm defense from USC. Holder up top, looking to use the screen from White. Dribbles around the defender, into the key, floater, gets the whistle, and 2 free throws. The foul's going to go against Nick Rakocevic. He picks up his 3rd personal, make that the 8th team foul overall. So Holder comes to the line for 2, and now just 2 fouls away for USC until the double bonus.
And I saw that one of the officials waved it off as if it wasn't a shooting foul, so we'll see what's going on, but it doesn't matter because Trey Holder made the free throw anyway.
So knocks down the first. 16 points now for Trey Holder from 5 of 12 shooting. It's improved now from the free throw line, 5 of 8 overall. Holder bends his leg, shoots the free throw, and sends it home. 2-point game, Trojans on top. 8 minutes, 15 seconds to play.